History, arguably the single most important cultural property. It is the great unifier of all societies, from classical to contemporary. It is happening all around us, every second, every minute, every hour of every day. A conspiracy of coincidence. It creates the contextual understanding of events that affects our lives. If we are vigilant enough, we can witness it happening. If we are keen enough, we can make it happen. By understanding it, we can alter the reality of the present or change the trajectory of the future. For without history, we are without purpose. We are without identity. Welcome to the gray area, where we examine history in hindsight. February 12th, 1541, the city of Santiago, Chile was founded. 1554, Lady Jane Grey was beheaded after being charged with treason. She had claimed the throne of England for only 9 days, among the shortest period of monarchical rule in history. 1733, Savannah, Georgia was founded by English colonist James Oglethorpe. 1870, in the Utah Territory, women gained the right to vote. 1892, in the U.S., President Lincoln's birthday was declared to be a national holiday. 1909, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, otherwise known as the NAACP, was founded. 1912, China's boy emperor Suan-Tung announced that he was abdicating, ending the Manchu Qing dynasty. Subsequently, the Republic of China was established. 1915, the cornerstone of the Lincoln Memorial was laid in Washington, D.C. 1924, U.S. President Calvin Coolidge made the first presidential political speech by radio. 1934, the Export-Import Bank was incorporated. 1968, Soul on Ice by Eldridge Cleaver was published for the first time. 1973, the state of Ohio went metric, becoming the first in the United States to post metric distance signs. 1973, American prisoners of war were released for the first time during the Vietnam conflict. 1993, in Liverpool, England, a 2-year-old boy, James Bulger, was lured away from his mother at a shopping mall and beaten to death. 2 10-year-old boys were responsible. 1998, a U.S. federal judge declared that presidential line item veto was unconstitutional. 2001, the space probe Near landed on the asteroid Eros. It was the first time that any craft had landed on a small space rock. 2002, Kenneth Lay, former Enron CEO, exercised his constitutional rights and refused to testify to the U.S. Congress about the collapse of Enron. 2002, the trial of former Yugoslavian President Slobodan Milosevic began at the UN Tribunal in The Hague. Milosevic was accused of war crimes during the Balkan Wars of the 1990s. 2002, Pakistan charged 3 men in connection with the kidnapping of Wall Street Journal reporter Daniel Pearl in Karachi. 2003, the UN Nuclear Agency declared North Korea in violation of international treaties, and the complaint was sent to the Security Council. And in 2013, this very day, North Korea conducted its 3rd underground nuclear test. However, rewinding all the way back, to 1952. Congressional Medal of Honor was awarded posthumously to the esteemed Sergeant Cornelius H. Carleton for heroism in Korea. Sergeant Cornelius H. Carleton was born to a coal mining family in West Virginia. He enlisted in the Army right out of high school in 1946. He was transferred to the segregated 24th Infantry Regiment, 25th Infantry Division, fighting in the Korean War. During a battle for Hill 543 near the village of Chipori, Carleton took command of his platoon after its commanding officer was injured, leading it on 3 successive assaults of the hill. 3 times, Carleton led the platoon up the hill in face of intense Chinese mortar and infantry fire. In spite of mounting casualties, the platoon made slow but sure progress, and Carleton single-handedly destroyed 2 Chinese positions and killed 6 Chinese soldiers with rifle fire and grenades. During one advance, Carleton was wounded in the chest. However, he refused medical treatment and pushed the company forward. Carleton continued to lead the attack from the front of the platoon and several times was separated from the unit. Subsequent accounts notes that Carleton continued the advance, holding his chest wound with one hand and an M1 carbine with the other. Carleton continued to lead the attack until all Chinese ground artillery and mortar positions were destroyed at the cost of his life. For these actions, Carleton was awarded the Medal of Honor, and today his body is laid to rest at Arlington Cemetery, where many of our fallen heroes, like Sergeant Cornelius H. Carleton, lay restless in waiting for their resurrection through the stories of their tremendous feats of valor and heroism. America owes the esteemed Sergeant Cornelius H. Carleton a debt of gratitude, and history remembers him proudly. You see, history, much like time, waits for no man. It is ultimately up to us to decide whether we choose to make it or be the reason we repeat it. However, no matter what side of it that you stand on, you can only learn from it by looking at history in hindsight.